So good to see you. Flipping the switch. Flipping the script. Flipping the switch is what I was doing. Trying to turn this on. You know, I was thinking about our adventures this month, my adventure series. It's really been another way of talking about the basic principles of science of mind. Am I on? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I feel like I am. Yeah. So, flipping the script. What shall I talk about? I know. It's a really open topic, huh? I can kind of twist that to whatever I want. But I do have a couple of things here. Okay, so what is that, flipping the switch? It's like to reverse what is usual, to turn the pattern around, to say something a little bit different, to change the existing position or situation of things. We're going to flip the script, right? Going to rewrite things. Now, I also noticed, you know, they've got the Wikipedia, you got your Oxford, you got your Merriam, you got dictionary.com. They all had that basic idea that it's whatever the normal pattern is, you reverse it. But now in the Urban Dictionary, they have a different idea about flip the script. That's when you're having a conversation and somebody's just and they're going on in your face and you take over the conversation, take charge of the conversation. That's flipping the script. And that one really clicked with me about a science of mind principle. It is done unto you as you believe. Thoughts are things. Our habits and our thoughts. Oh my gosh, I want to change my life. I need to change my inner script. I need to take over the dialogue in my mind and flip it to a new direction. That's the basics. And that's what this lovely book I've been studying this month from Dr. Holmes is called Good for You. And Dr. Holmes doesn't even know he wrote this book, because he wrote it like over his whole lifetime, and then Kathy Julene, somewhere after Dr. Holmes had made his transition, pulled all these things together and put this book together. It's like a big old workbook, and it's got all of it's like the best hits, as if you know, this is Dr. Holmes live, but not live, in a book, greatest hits. Yeah. Dr. Holmes dead, his greatest hits. Thank you. I love that. I'm going to get a call from Brad after this one. You know, our own Dr. Holmes, right? Brad, the guy that does it, right? He watches pretty regularly. Brad, this would be good for you. We use it sometime. But in one of his points that he makes in the book, he says that negative thoughts will produce negative results. We all know that, right? That's like, I know, right? While positive thinking surrounds you with an atmosphere which tends to draw good into your experience. At the leadership thing this weekend, people were trying to figure out what science of mind is all about. What is this thing you teach? What is it all about? And I like to use the traffic metaphor quite frequently for what we talk about in terms of thinking, right? You're driving along in your clunker car, you got up late, you have an appointment, you have to go dreadedly by the 405 freeway to get there, and you're just in this bumper-to-bumper traffic, and you're not going to get there on time, and you're just absolutely miserable, right? That's hell. That's your thoughts. They're saying the negative thinking produces negative results. Every traffic light you get seems to be red. All of that is going on, right? Then you got another guy who's riding in the car with Peter, who came to pick him up 2 hours early because he just loves being in his car. And you're cruising down the same freeway next to the same guy. You are in heaven because he's got it in ludicrous mode. He's riding on Mars with Santa in the lead, driving. You guys think I'm joking about this. It's the truth. The car has a monitor on it, and in the monitor you could put the planet Mars, and then the logo, the icon that is your car, turns into Santa's sleigh, and you're driving along, and all the other cars going past you are reindeer. It's like, how can you not be in anything but heaven when you're riding in that? But you're on the same freeway going next to the same guy. Science of Mind teaches you how to be in ludicrous mode on Mars when you're in traffic on the 405. That's what this is all about. Change your thought, change your thinking, have a positive experience, and bring good into your life. Are you still with me? Are you flowing with this? Come back down to earth. Let's do the rest of this. The patterns, the script. What is the script? The patterns. I have my own little pattern. Well, I have several. I have many patterns. Johanna's been helping me with my patterns. It's been very helpful to have another person witness you and help you with your patterns. But one of my patterns happened when I was looking for my house. I told my realtor, I really don't like spur living. And he said, spur living? And I said, yeah, where you drive in and you drive out on the same street all the time. I want to have multiple access points to my house. I said, oh, okay. He found a house for me. I can drive to my house 4 different ways. Because there's like a cul-de-sac that is not really a cul-de-sac. It's like, it used to be a cul-de-sac, but then they built the neighborhood, extended the neighborhood out. So at the end of what was a cul-de-sac, there's now two streets going in this direction, and then another street going in that direction. And then when I go out of my house, I can go this way, or I can go that way. I can go home 5 different ways. I love it. It's perfect for my pattern, you know? Some people need the spur. Some people need to go the same way every day, and it feels comfortable, right? Did I just touch someone's heart? Did I just out somebody? But you play a mean game of tennis. I mean, a ping pong. You play a mean game of ping pong, so it's all right? Yeah. But sometimes we need to flip that switch. The belief that this is me and this is the way I am and that's the way I'm going to be. Well, how's that working for you? Sometimes you may have to ask the Dr. Phil question and flip the script on that. The habits that we have in our life, spending, consumerism, that'll really get you, you know. It's taken a long time to break the coffee bean habit. I still love it, but now I've got it to be a treat because I brought all the elements that I need to make my good morning tea. I got them all at home now. So now my tea only costs me like 45 cents instead of $4.50. That was major shifting that pattern. But I got this nice Contigo cup, and I love my tea so much, I went and I got the giant size cup, which has become a little bit of a problem because when I'm driving in the car and I get near the end, it's too big to turn up because it hits the ceiling. So like the last few sips, I have to like kind of low ride it. But I'm saving myself $4 every time I have a cup of tea now. It's awesome. It's beautiful, right? But that took a while to flip that switch, you know, to get to change these long-held family of origin beliefs. I was talking about to a friend of mine one time, and he was saying in his home where he grew up, the mother's motto was, just be happy. And I was saying, well, so what's wrong with that? He said, but you miss it. That was what she meant. Just be happy. Just be happy. Don't have any other feelings but happiness. And it has shut this person down in his life because he wasn't able to express all of his feelings. It's taken him a lifetime to first recognize that that was what was holding him back, and then to flip the script on that so that he can be in his happiness, express his sadness, express his frustrations, express his joy, express his irritations, express his anger. These are hard things to do when you have some deeply seated beliefs that are told you at the dinner table every day. Just be happy, son. Just be happy. You know? These well-defined, deeply entrenched patterns of thought. These deeply rooted ideas in life. I got to have 5 ways to get home. And then what do I get rewarded with? A place to work where the easiest, most direct way is just to go up the 405 or the 101 to the 170 to the 18 here. And if I go any other way, it's out of the way. So I'm doing that now. I'm learning that, you know, spur driving's actually not that bad. Sort of. Sometimes I go to 101 around to the 23, but it's a longer way. You have to try to change things, you know. But the greatest thing I've come to understand when it comes to changing things is that I have a silent partner within. That's why we do the gap. That's why we do the spiritual practice. That's why Betsy was talking about faith without works is dead. Having a faith and doing the work, doing the practices can lift up your life, you see. And that silent partner speaks in a really soft whisper. It's a strong voice, but it's a soft whisper telling us, guiding us to how we can rewrite the script and bring more joy, more well-being, more peace into our lives. Dr. Holmes talks about that. He says, know that you can change your habitual ways of responding as you silently affirm that God is expressing through you and through the other person too. Now, how about that? It's not just all us by ourselves. We're not alone in this journey. We're working in teams. We're working in partnership. We're in relationship with everyone in our lives. And there are people constantly coming into our lives, offering us opportunities to grow, to rewrite the script. But we're so attached, it's mine, that sometimes we can't hear that. But that's the joy. That's what we get to do. in the rewriting. And it happens when we begin to realize our oneness, to realize that we do have the silent partner within, to realize that the person beside me, even the person on the bus stop, might be the one to give you the message. I told you a few months ago, maybe it was a few weeks back now, time gets collapsed sometimes in my life, the one about the homeless fella that had his head down in the dumpster. He asked me for money. Do you remember that story? There was a dumpster, a guy that was asking me for money one day, and I was out running some errands in my brand new fancy car, remember? And I didn't give him any money, and then I came back to that same gas station later, and there he was. You know, that was 30 years ago, and that experience has still shaped how I respond to people who look different than me, who live life in a different manner than the way I live life. They're expressing life in what appears to be homelessness, but how can anyone be homeless when we're all here on this planet together? They just don't have the same shelter experience that we're having, you know, but they have the same heart, the same eyes, the same mind, the same thinking, the same life. Life in a flea, life in an elephant is still life. It's not big or small to the mind that knows all. And that's what we get to see when we recognize that we are here with others. See, it takes to observe our thinking. And literally, when I'm saying flip the script, I'm talking about sometimes you have to actually write it out. Like perhaps when you're thinking throughout your week, try this out. Actually, at the end of the day, log the negative thoughts that you have. Right? Right, try that. Try logging, and if there's a lot, just do 10. Because I know what that's about. I could write the whole journal. But once you do that, then look at them and then write the positive thoughts that would reflect that. Flip that script. Write the other way, the other concepts, the other words, the other ideas to express that negativity from a positive direction. That little action right there was like dripping water on those constant thoughts of negativity and flipping them over into a positive way of being. You see, and when we begin to do that, what happens is we start to meet the divine in people. We meet the divine on the street. We meet God in other circumstances and situations as we hear what the other has to say. Like I noticed in the videos, in the pictures that they took from the leadership weekend, I was like, oh my God, I slump. And as I was noticing that, a little voice whispered over, stand up straight. And a couple seconds ago, I was talking with you all, and I kind of caught that little voice out of the corner of my eye, and I went, oh yeah, right. Stand up straight. That was your mother? I love your mother. She's here with me right now telling me to stand up straight. Evelyn, you were channeling Jerry. But I'm standing up straighter. Taking this idea a little further, that the other is you and you are the other in many ways, adds a new level to this next quote that I hadn't really thought about. Check it out. You are the greatest single asset you will ever possess. You are the greatest asset, the single asset you'll ever possess. But then I just realized that if I am knowing that I am one with all and that everyone else is just an individuated experience of me, another experience of God showing up in a different format, a different form, then the other is me too, and that's also part of my great assets. My ability to recognize their divinity is also part of that single great asset. You know, we get to expand and be even broader than ever before as we take the messages that the other can give to us and allowing us the opportunity to rewrite, to flip our script. You know, as you, one of my dearest friends, Reverend Josh Reeves. Hey, Josh, congratulations, April. They had a baby this morning. And he said he might be watching. So I'm knowing that over the last 9 months, April has been nourishing her body with really great foods, and now even more so now that their little one is here, right? But I also know that in that family and in our family, in this community here, we also not only nourish our bodies with good, healthy foods, we nourish our minds with good, healthy thoughts. See, as we grow healthy thoughts, I'm going to do the Betsy position. I notice that Betsy stands right here. It's really powerful. Wow. Do you like that? I do. This is nice. So, but as you nourish your thoughts and feed yourself, you become a healthier person. And the thing about being a healthy individual, being the kind of healthy people that we raise here in the Science of Mind in our center, is that we avoid the doctor more than some people. We are less stressed out, so we're more polite citizens in the world. We're more likely to be better informed in the world, making us better voters and decision makers in the world. And so the resources in the world are more available to those that really need it, as opposed to those that kind of want it. Because we know we can do it ourselves through the power of our minds and the power of our positive thinking. We can shift and change ourselves and thereby change the planet. That's the value of the Science of Mind. We raise healthy individuals, and that creates a healthy environment, a healthy planet. Here to health. Keep on with the nourishing thoughts, you see. Move away from the idea of I can't and make choices. This is what we learned about, and that's what Evelyn was talking about. When I saw, okay, first off, they say you're going to climb out on the high ropes and walk across the thing. I'm thinking, okay, that should be easy enough. But then you get there, and they put this harness on you, and they're tightening it up and making sure it's all fitting. And now you're thinking, oh my God, really? This is pretty serious stuff. And then to add to the serious freak out mode, they put a helmet on you. I could crash and hit my head. It's that serious, right? And then they lead you over to the pine trees, and you know how the redwood pines, and I mean, they're like, they're up there. And there's nothing but these little hooks like that you have to climb up on. And it's starting to look a little bit like, I can't do that. Right? And then the guy who's leading, this guy named Red, he says, no, you choose not to do that. You can do it if you want, but you're choosing. Every time we say, I can't, we're actually choosing. We're always choosing. And at some point, by saying, I choose not to, there's nothing wrong with choosing not to, as long as you know that you're consciously choosing not to. Nothing wrong with that. Right? But as long as you're stuck there with I can't and not I'm choosing not to, you're not in the place to flip the script. Because in that moment of choosing not to, I did make a choice. Maybe I could choose to. So I did. So I climbed up there, and as I get up there, I'm waiting. My partner's having some trouble getting up the hill, and he didn't make it. So now my legs are getting pretty wobbly because I'm holding on to this thing, and I'm up there 40 feet up in the air on the little tight wire, and they got you. They're holding you up, but you don't really realize that. It wasn't until this morning that I realized how safe I was because I had a higher source, the 9 people below on the belay line. Like we have a higher source, the divine that's within us. But so frequently, you're thinking, I'm doing this all by myself, holding myself up on the hill. If I let myself go, they would have held me with the rope. If you let yourself go and surrender, God will hold you. That's the lesson I learned from that, right? And then I get up there, and finally my partner gets up there, and he's wobbly and got a bad hip. He needs to have a Kathy, She's amazing. Was that 4 days ago?
Well, it's actually been like
9 days since the surgery? But 4 days ago you started walking. And now here you are today. Hot dog. That's the stuff I'm talking about. That's a I can attitude. Not a choose not to, not a I can't. That's an I can attitude. And so we're up there, and he gets up there. Boom, we fall, but the belay guys let us down on the ground. Then another person decides to go, and she's afraid to get up there on the rope itself. She doesn't want to do it. And the whole team is like, you can do it. The source, the divine source, the people that support us, God, saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And so she gets up there, and she climbs up. She wasn't going to go across the rope, but she climbed up, right? And I said, I volunteered. I said, I got your back. If you can't make it, I'll go up and do it with your partner. She gets up to the top, and at the last minute, she's up there, and it looks like she's going to do it. I'm personally thinking, do it, because I don't want to get up there again. But no. Unfortunately, she knew what her could was, and she did, and she knows what her chose not to was. She chose not to go across the line. So I went up a second time, and with the other person who was across from me, she was determined. And this little Vietnamese woman couldn't have been but that big, about 70 years old, maybe, I don't know. She's looking at me in the eyes. You can do this. Oh my God, don't look down. Okay, I'm looking at you. And we got out there. It was amazing what you can do when you choose to flip the script, because my beginning was, I can't do this. My end was, I did it twice. That's what can happen by flipping the script. But it happened because I knew that I was supported. See, and life, that's just metaphor. We are supported by God, by the divine within us. And if you think you can't, something within you knows that you can. So when you think you can't, say, I choose not to right now, but I know there's a power within me that can. And that power within you will use that silent whisper that I was talking about and go, yeah, you can, I'm with you, I will never let you down. I am proud of you. I am with you. And at one point, you may choose to do it differently and flip your script, and you too will walk the tight wire. It comes sometimes from admiring someone versus envying someone. You know, when you admire somebody, we celebrate that. Oh, I admire so-and-so. Isn't that great they admire them? They're admirable. That's cool. But when you envy somebody, that's terrible. They did something that I can't do. Envy is like mortified. They got advantages that I can't, you know, and that happens because there's relevance when you envy somebody. It must be meaningful to you what they do, you see. I could never envy Aristotle. I could never do what Aristotle does. But I could envy Michael Beckwith or something. I don't, but I could, because he does the same thing. I could relate to that. It's comparable to me, you know. And so that's the thing about envy versus admirability. But there's another thing. There's that kind of negative envy where they're just, ugh, I can't believe they could do that. And then there's envy like emulative envy, they call it, where it inspires you. It allows you. Now in America, we only have the envy, but in other parts of the world, the Dutch, the Polish, the Thai, they all have two different words for envy. One meaning sort of a benign admiration sort of thing, and another one a malicious, how could they do that sort of a thing. But when we do it, we just have the one word envy, so we don't really give it the scope to inspire us. But when we can see others doing something that we can't do and we can relate to that, we can make a choice to flip that script and say, I can do what they can do too, you see. Dr. Holmes says, while you can and should learn from others, you can never be anyone but yourself, and no one can be you for you. When you see others that are doing things and admire what they're doing, or maybe even envying them, remember that there's something in that person that's relevant to you. There's something what they're doing that's meaningful to you. There's something in what they're doing that's calling you to it, and you can do that for yourself. You can flip that script and make a change in your life. And it begins by being easy. Be easy on yourself. I love that phrase. Easy does it. Yo, shaka bro, easy does it, right? Drop the idea that I'm carrying the world on my shoulders. Life is not a burden. Let that go. Life is easy. Life is a joy. And life is not what life is short? No. Life is the longest thing you'll ever do in life. Right? So as a result of that, let it go. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at your mistakes and your foibles. They're only yours. They don't belong to anybody else. Nobody else is going to laugh at them, because if they do, it's on. But if you do, it's just you, right? So you can just let it go, right? And begin, count the blessings. Really, count the blessings. My community here at CSL Simi Valley, you know, the job that I get to do, the home that I get to go to, and the person that's waiting for me at that home that I love so much. Just literally count those blessings. The 2 kitty cats that are actually waiting there too, I count them too, especially Shao Man, who just wah, wah, wah all night long, you know. Literally, count your blessings and be appreciative and express it. Is there someone in your life who has done something for you? This is about flipping the script, y'all. This is how it works. You can put yourself in the consciousness of availability to the flip. Get out of the negativity. Get out of the burdens in your life and express some appreciation. If there's someone that's done something for you and you haven't told them thank you, try this. It's called a letter. I've heard about it. I've gotten some, and they weren't all from bill collectors. And you just write it out, dear so-and-so, I really, and then lick it, stamp it, and send it the old-fashioned way. Wow, that will touch someone's heart. Give them a call, and don't leave a voicemail. If you get the voicemail, say, I'll call you back. Don't say, hey, I'm calling to tell you how much I appreciate you. Wait until you get them on the line, and then tell them. Or go by and personally tell them. Share your experience of joy and beauty, you see? Because when you're doing that, you're tapping into the roots of your very being. You're tapping into what Dr. Holmes calls your divinity within you. He says, your personality has its roots in a divinity within you. That one right there. In God, who is present everywhere. So when you speak in that appreciation, that's God receiving that appreciation. And you have put the law of circulation into effect in your life, you see. When you begin to see love and beauty and act from love and beauty will appear. Try this with me. There is a power in the universe, which is working with me every moment. The mind I am using is the mind of God. With that kind of power, you can't lose. With that kind of power and that kind of knowledge, there is no way you have to be stuck in an old pattern. With this kind of information, it should be very easy to begin to flip the script. And so it is. Okay, so here we are. My GPS, God patterning system, alerts me to the perfect creative sequence for experiencing more peace, joy, and well-being. All I need to do is plug into it. All right, so it is. Lovely. Nice. All right, so, you've got one too. You got a fan too. Yes. Yeah, let me see. It's not blowing though. It's not blowing my hair like that. I used to have flowing locks at one time. Yeah. All right. So this is our time of prayer, and it's been a full week, and stuff happening on the coast in people's lives, and even still leftovers from the Labor Day weekend affecting people in their lives. So things that are happening this morning that are touching people's hearts. So if you're in that space where something is touching your heart and you want to bring it into prayer, allow me the opportunity to speak the word of truth for all of us collectively. If you know a name or a situation or a condition that needs to come into a reformatting, a flipping of the script about, speak that name out into the room right now. Patricia, Joanna. So taking in the energy of the Spirit and breathing out the energy of the Spirit and knowing there's only the one. And as I breathe in and breathe out, I am breathing in God and breathing out the divine. This constant flow of inhalation and exhalation is just a metaphorical experience of the larger thing of happening in life, like the ebb and flow of the waves, the waning and the waxing of the moon, the changing of the seasons. Everything, as Emerson so eloquently wrote, is working in circles, round and round, coming back again. So whatever condition is occurring in anyone's life, it has come to pass. Nothing has come to stay. So we are moving into a new experience, a more grateful experience, an upwardly spiraling experience of life, as Dr. Holmes described it. He said nothing stays the same, exactly the same. It doesn't come back again exactly the same. It's spiraling upward, ever evolving into higher and higher experiences of joy, peace, harmony, and wholeness. So we know that for every name that was spoken in the room right now, every condition that was felt, every idea in mind, it may be at level A right now, but it's moving up to level B, C, D, and E. That's how it works. So we inform the inner knowings of spirit. We inform that deeper law to take this motion in action for those that we're holding our hearts right now in this moment. So we're seeing more peace and more joy, harmony in relationships, healing and forgiveness, acceptance and understanding, compassion and empathy, joy, harmony and peace, the birthing of new life, the transitions in life. Just an experience of the ongoingness and opportunities for more love to show up. So for all that we've spoken about and for all that's in our minds right now, at this moment, we dab a sweet salve of love. We put the balm of kindness. We put the joy of the divine, the subtle, sweet taste of spirit into every condition, and we know it heals and blesses and prospers. And for that, I am so grateful. And I release this prayer into that infinite law that is so lovingly listening with its sweet ear, its loving heart, its creative mind, Make he manifest the good in our lives here and now. And so it is. Mhm. Thank you.